Hello, friends? The forests and lagoons on the Donetsk front are filled with the ghosts of demilitarized orcs. And during the nights, invaders who look like specters keep appearing, quickly joining their colleagues in purgatory. The clarity of the thermal cameras on the hunter drones is impressive. And to be fair, the truth is that the invisibility cloaks of the illegal tourists work quite well at hiding their heat signature. Well, that keeps things interesting for the drone operators. Now we present to you a practical guide to fighting for freedom, prepared by the defenders of the 2nd Mechanized Infantry Battalion of the 33rd Brigade. First, if you think there's an invader inside the trench, you should send a thermobaric bomb as a gift to start setting the mood. But of course, that's not enough, so you can follow up with some rifle bursts to keep things interesting. And then, why not, a few shots with your 9mm pistol. Which leads you to apply pressure. First grenade, followed by more rifle bursts in the second grenade. More bursts, and to finish, you call in an attack drone. If after all that he's still alive, it's because he's an X-Man. Seriously though, what stands out to me the most is that obviously the Ukrainian soldiers aren't facing any kind of shortage when it comes to ammunition, and they're pretty generous with its use. Ivan surely knows how to appreciate and enjoy that. In this footage, we see an example of Ukrainian innovation, demonstrating a remarkable ability for adaptation and technical creativity on the battlefield. In this case, we see how they have adapted 82mm mortar rounds to be launched using the propellant rockets from regular RPG ammunition, which are available in large quantities, since the regular grenades have been mounted on attack drones. This improvised solution transforms the 82mm high-explosive mortar bombs into powerful portable munitions that are mounted on the propellant rockets using metal adapters manufactured in Frontline workshops. The resulting hybrid projectile combines the explosive power of a mortar bomb with the propulsion and portability of an RPG, which allows a single operator to launch devastating indirect or direct attacks against trenches, fortifications, and lightly armored targets of the Z-Horde. On the Pokrovsk front, units of the 7th Air Assault Corps stopped a large-scale offensive attempt on March 26 in the outskirts of the city, from where Russian forces launched simultaneous motorized assaults against the settlements of Kirishin and Mirnorad using ATVs and motorcycles to move quickly enough to break through Ukrainian lines and advance. On the Kirishin axis, enemy infantry on motorcycles was stopped at the entrances of the village by defenders from the 155th and 32nd Mechanized Brigades. Simultaneously, an attempt to break through with vehicle support near Mirnorad was neutralized through a coordinated defensive action between National Guard units and air assault units. Thermal images from reconnaissance drones captured how their attack counterparts destroyed more than 10 motorcycles and 2 light vehicles, eliminating approximately 50 Russian invaders. This defensive success demonstrates the effectiveness of the integrated reconnaissance and attack capabilities with drones, which are able to react quickly and effectively against the tactic of assaults with motorcycles and light transport vehicles, which has become the only real alternative Ivan has to advance, at least a few meters for every 100 orcs neutralized. These types of incursions are intensifying as the Horde continues making preparations for its spring-summer offensive, which is expected to begin in a few weeks. We've already seen how drones have started to take Z-Horde orcs prisoner, but defenders managing to capture one through social media? Now that's innovative. The thing is, an invader decided to surrender voluntarily, so he contacted the I Want to Live program through Telegram, where a bot collected his personal information and transmitted his exact location. After that, he was sent a password for a secure link, where he got in touch with operators who coordinated his safe extraction.
con ayuda de una unidad de primera línea.
Program launched in 2022 by the Ministry of Defense. I Want to Live provides Russian soldiers with a reliable way to leave the battlefield alive. The project has received tens of thousands of inquiries, and the website has been visited more than 48 million times, mainly from Russia. According to the latest statistics published by the project at the end of 2025, more than 10,000 Russian soldiers have been taken prisoner since the start of the invasion. The number of Russian soldiers has increased steadily each year, with more captures recorded in 2025 than in 2022 and 2023 combined. These figures reflect the growing disillusionment among the invading troops, who face a high number of casualties, brutal commanders, and senseless attacks, making the alternative of surrendering and being treated humanely increasingly attractive to them. Hopefully, more colleagues will follow their example. On the naval sanctions front, the Ukrainian Navy carried out a successful precision attack with naval drones against the tanker Altura, sailing under the flag of Sierra Leone in the Black Sea, approximately 15 nautical miles north of the Bosphorus Strait. The vessel, loaded with approximately 1 million barrels of Russian crude oil, loaded in Novorossiysk, was damaged and left adrift, reporting flooding in the engine room. Turkish rescue vessels responded quickly to the scene. The Altura is part of Putin's shadow fleet and has been under international sanctions for several years. The scope of Ukrainian sanctions continues to increase day by day. On the diplomatic front, President Zelensky arrived in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, on March 26 for an unannounced visit to hold high-level meetings focused on strengthening bilateral cooperation in defense and global security issues. He is accompanied on his visit by senior defense officials, including Ruslan Kostiantinovich Umarov, Secretary of the National Defense Council. This approach is based on the recent deployment of 228 Ukrainian air defense specialists divided into 5 teams, who will support Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan, providing on-site advisory and operational assistance to implement low-cost, highly effective Shahed drone interception tactics, which are the same ones already being used in Ukraine. The main focus remains the protection of civilian infrastructure and military facilities. Zelensky has announced that a meeting will take place in Germany. President Zelensky has announced that a meeting will take place in Germany. President Zelensky has announced a meeting in Germany and stated that there will be business in German territory. President Zelensky announced the German government will hold a business meeting in Germany. During the last few weeks, Russia has started attacking passenger trains. So in case of an attack, the trains stop and people get off as a precaution, since the cars can catch fire in just a few minutes if they are attacked. For this reason, these passengers had to light a bonfire to keep warm while they waited for the alert to end, but that didn't stop them from enjoying some good traditional songs. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels, where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1 you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Lastly, visit our store, where you can find items inspired by some of Ukraine's most outstanding units. Carry history with you, and with every purchase you'll be supporting the United 24 program, which directly supports reconstruction programs, aid to the civilian population, and defense. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.